myself as Mama Debbie. I'm one of the house moms, and one of the things that I think is the most important about Solomon House is that we are the only restoration place in Atlanta that takes women 24/7. So if a girl runs away or escapes at 2 a.m. in the morning, we're there for them. And that they've been told for years or all their life or whatever that they're worthless. And when they walk in the door, I really believe that they can feel the love of Jesus in the house.
Hey, my name is Bethany. I'm one of the Solomon House moms, and this has been one of the most amazing experiences of my life. You constantly depend on God. If you don't, if you try in your own strength, you'll drown really quickly.
I first started with Solomon House doing massages for the girls, and that was just a more comfortable way for me to get into working with them, because I didn't really know how to conversate with them, and the massage just seemed to open a venue of communication where I didn't really have to talk, and I don't like talking, so I could just interview them in my comfort zone, which is I'm a massage therapist, so that was my comfort zone. And then later, as I got more into it, I just started spending time with girls, hanging out. We would color. Some of them like to talk about their stuff, and some of them don't, and that was fine too. I know they had to go through their story a lot, so sometimes when I came just to spend time with them, it was more or less just girlfriends hanging out and having a good time.
I'm Derek Calhoun. This is my wife.
Susan Calhoun, and I'm a Solomon House volunteer. I've been a Solomon House volunteer for about 2 years now. And we tend to, as far as what we do, is we tend to mentor the girls more, so more of a long-term relationship. We started the first girl, we saw her through her rehab program. So we would go to visit her on family visitation days, and ultimately wound up in family counseling with her as her parents were absent and would not come to see her.
Susan and I, we have a son that we lost 2.5 years ago, and he struggled with his own issues, struggled with addiction. Actually, died of a drug overdose 2.5 years ago. And I know going through family counseling was really interesting for us, because we felt like we were in some ways reliving some of our past, but in a lot of ways I think that was really helpful. I can remember being with her at the very beginning, and I can remember taking her to church when she was still here at Solomon House, and watching her in church that Sunday. Everything was just closed, emotionless, and this was the girl that Susan mentioned that we saw through the rehab process, and we were almost sort of like surrogate family to her during the rehab process. And it took a long time for her to get to the point where she started opening up, but I can remember probably 8 months in and her being back in Atlanta on a home pass and being back in church, and watching her singing and raising her hands and praising God. For me, that was one of the coolest things of all. That was neat to see a miracle happen right in front of our eyes. It was cool.
The main thing we can do is love, and that was the commandment from Jesus, is to love. And it's like, at first I felt like I wanted to save these women, and I realized, and God showed me, that He's the only one that can save them. And that what we can do is that we can love God, and we can love the women, and we can let God's love and the Holy Spirit and Jesus' love flow through us to these women.
This work is so important because it has to do with restoration. God is in the restoration business, and just as He restored me, He's able to use me to turn around and give back to these women, and he's doing the same for them. I see these women going through programs and graduating and getting jobs and having forgiveness in their heart and being able to move forward in life and have a life and be proud of what they have. So just as the Lord has restored me, he's restoring these women, and I just think it's amazing to be able to watch his hand at work and see the restoration that he's doing.